Kaleidoscope, a weekly public affairs program brought to you in partnership with the Urban League of Greater Cleveland, Kaleidoscope Magazine, and NewsChannel 5.
Good morning, everybody. Glad to have you with us on the broadcast today. Having your home foreclosed is certainly a stressful experience, and that's exactly what's happening to homeowner Sean Hilliard. With him is Roz Quarto, who is Executive Director of Empowering and Strengthening Ohio's People, or ESOP, as it is called. They'll talk about Mr. Hilliard's experience and the services provided by ESOP. Then Andrea Kinast of the Cuyahoga County Foreclosure Mediation Program will tell us about her program and how it helps individuals facing foreclosure. Later on the broadcast after that, David Rothstein of NHS Cleveland will explain how his organization helps to educate individuals so they can avoid going through foreclosure. Good morning, everybody. I'm Leon Bibb. This is Kaleidoscope, and so we begin. Beginning with Sean Hilliard, whose home is being foreclosed, and we've got Roz Quarto, Executive Director of Empowering and Strengthening Ohio's People. Roz, let's begin with you. What does ESOP, E-S-O-P, Empowering and Strengthening Ohio's People, what does your organization do?
We are a HUD-approved housing counseling agency as well as a community organizing agency. So we try to encourage people to stand up for what their rights are around the predatory lending and the foreclosure crisis, but we also will help people navigate the incredibly stressful process of trying to keep your home from foreclosure.
It is stressful, no doubt about that. Sean Hilliard, you know that firsthand. They tell me you're in the middle of foreclosure right now?
Absolutely, Mr. Bibb. Absolutely, I'm going through a foreclosure process where the reason why I wanted to come on the show today with you is that I wanted people to be educated about the things of the foreclosure process. There are a lot of things that people, when they're going through the process, the first thing they do, they get scared, they give up, they don't know exactly what to do, who to go to, they don't know who to go to ESOP, they don't know who to go to Cleveland Housing Network, they don't have a clue. But what I'm here to tell you today is that educate yourself. Know the things that the banks are doing, and know that there is light at the end of the tunnel.
There is light.
There is light. There is light. Just don't sit there and just take things as secondhand. Go out and research. Go out and investigate, and get a team assembled that can. My mother always said, put yourself in the best position possible to win. And so you have to tell yourself that just because there's a foreclosure, you have rights as a homeowner.
Let's speak to that, Roz. Tell me about that, how your organization can help people like Sean Hilliard in the situation he's in.
Absolutely. For the last few years, Ohio has had a program called Save the Dream, and there's up to $35,000 available to assist homeowners in foreclosure. Now, that program, unfortunately, is ending July 31st. However, agencies like mine will also work directly with the bank and the servicing agency for the bank, and will try to negotiate loan modifications.
So that there's some, you're saying there's some wiggle room, there's possibly some wiggle room between the bank and the homeowner who's being foreclosed upon.
Absolutely.
We can cut a deal.
Absolutely.
And you are the deal maker, the broker of the deal.
Absolutely.
You're the broker.
Absolutely.
You make that happen.
Yes, and we have the phone numbers. We can get through to the people that can make those decisions more quickly and have experience, so that homeowners on their own are often left to press 3 for assistance.
You're getting some help.
Yes, I mean, one of the things that she mentioned, which is absolutely correct, is that there's a thing called Making Homes Affordable program. You can get, I think for me, I received like between $12,000 to $15,000, and so those are basically about 15 months of assistance. Once that assistance is up, a lot of people don't know that you can't apply for it the second time, but the one thing is good that at least gives you 15 months of relief.
You are in the process of being foreclosed, but you're still in the house. Yes,
I actually received the Making Homes Affordable assistance through the Cleveland Housing Network, but that assistance is now up. And now trying to get modified has been a whole nother journey, where 7 or 8 times you sent information to the banks that your mortgage is through, and every single time there's missing information with your paperwork.
I want to put a phone number on the screen where we can contact ESOP, which means Empowering and Strengthening Ohio's People. 216-361-0718. That's 361-0718. We'll put that number at the bottom of the screen. You need people to call you, right, Roz?
Absolutely.
Call your organization.
You can call our organization. You can go to our website. We have 9 housing counselors that are available throughout the state, not just in Cleveland. We have 5 offices. around Northeast Ohio.
And that website is ESOP-Cleveland.org. ESOP-Cleveland.org. You can get more information on everything we've been talking about. You were saying, before we started this broadcast, you were saying people have to open up their mail when they get those red letters written in red from the bank or whomever.
Absolutely.
They've got to deal with it.
People feel hopeless, and they've been going through this for a long time. Most of them were victims of predatory lending back in the mid, 2005, 2007. And what starts to happen is, you know it's bad news in the letter, so they throw it out, they don't deal with it, and all that does is exacerbate the problem. Come see a housing counseling agency. There are many throughout the state that can take you through the process, relieve some of the stress and pressure, and walk you hand by hand to navigate the process.
You literally hold their hands as they go through the process.
Literally.
And you've got the bank over here, and you've got the foreclosed person like Sean Hilliard over here, and you're working with both ends, right?
Absolutely.
Trying to find some resolution.
Absolutely. With the end of the Save the Dream program, there's still the opportunity to have your modify your loan to make it more affordable, whether it's a lower interest rate, whether it's buying the loan out entirely because the house doesn't have enough value. We'll work with all the different options.
In our final few seconds, how are you doing in your process right now? Can you hang in there?
One of the things that I'm actually doing is actually fighting and standing up for what I believe is my rights, finding out that there has been when it comes to the banking system, there's a lot of things that you never realize, like assignments not being recorded, such as paperwork being changed through the banks and things of that nature. So what I'm saying through all that, Mr. Bibb, is that there are a lot of things that the banks have done fraudulently, done illegally, haven't recorded fees where it hasn't been recorded through the county, and the state law says that those fees has to be recorded.
ESOP is helping you with all of this.
Well, actually, we met today, but I've been working through the Cleveland Housing Network, but a lot of things that she brought up today are some of the things that the Housing Network has actually brought to my attention.
In our final 10 seconds, you've heard these stories before, haven't you, Ross?
Absolutely, absolutely. And if I can say, call your congressman, because there are laws going, that are out there ready to be passed that will give more relief to consumers.
Thank you so much for being with us, Sean Hilliard, whose home is being foreclosed on. We wish you well.
Oh, thank you so much.
Hang in there, young man.
Mr. Bibb.
And with Ross Horto, who's Executive Director of Empowering and Strengthening Ohio's People, ESOP. That phone number, once again, is 361-0718, as you see at the bottom of the screen here in the 216 area code. Thank you so much for being on the broadcast.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Taking a break, this is Kaleidoscope. We're going to talk more about Cuyahoga County's foreclosure mediation program after this.
All right. It's nice to meet you.
Welcome back to more of Kaleidoscope. Andrea Kinast is Program Director and Mediator for the Cuyahoga County Foreclosure Mediation Program, and she'll walk us through the mediation process and explain how and when homeowners going through foreclosure should contact her office. That's a big job. Andrea
It is.
Kinast, good to have you with us.
Thank you for having me.
Tell me, we've been talking about foreclosures in our earlier segment. We're going to continue with this theme throughout the broadcast today. Tell me about the job. What do you do over the Cuyahoga County Foreclosure Mediation Program? What does it do?
So what we do is we help people who have an active foreclosure pending in the Common Pleas Court in Cuyahoga County to try and reach some type of an agreement with their bank or servicer.
Yeah.
For going forward, and whether or not that means for them, if they, if the goal of the property owner is to keep the property, that becomes our goal in mediation. If they know that they can no longer afford to stay in the property, or for other family reasons they've moved or want to liquidate, that's what we work on.
As we said in our last segment, people who got those foreclosure notices in the mail, they sit at the kitchen table wringing their hands wondering what to do next, and you're saying give you a call and give other organizations a call that can help. This was ground zero, wasn't it, for foreclosure in the United States, Cuyahoga County?
Yeah, we really were. I mean, in 2008, 9, 10, I mean, the filings in Cuyahoga County were sky high. If you could imagine a city the size of Shaker Heights and that city being foreclosed upon in a year, that's what we were facing. So really, I mean, Cuyahoga County has been through a lot because of this foreclosure crisis.
If a homeowner feels, or somebody buying a home feels that they're standing on the brink of foreclosure, can they call you before they actually get that notice when they know they're in trouble financially, trying to pay for the house? Can they call you early?
Absolutely. I mean, we refer property owners who are not yet in foreclosure but feel that they're on the cusp of that all of the time to our partner agencies, these foreclosure prevention housing counseling agencies like ESOP, Cleveland Housing Network, Neighborhood Housing Services. We will refer property owners to call 211, and 211 is the county's first call for helpline. So if someone feels like they are on the brink, if they pick up the phone and call 211, they can get some good information on resources.
And I should add that number 211, that's a number when you've got any kind of problem, and you don't know where to call. In the Cuyahoga County, if you just dial 211, it'll get you in touch with somebody, and you tell them your situation, and they will try and get you funneled to the right place, no matter what your problem is.
That's right.
So it's kind of an ombudsman kind of a deal there going on. So walk us through the process. If somebody calls and they need trouble calling you at 698-7138, we'll put that number on the screen. If they call your office, what's the process?
So the first thing that they do after being referred into the program, they'll be scheduled for a first meeting, what we call our pre-mediation conference. That's the first time that they'll sit down with the attorney for the bank, and we'll discuss the specifics about their case, what types of documentation they need to provide to the bank to be reviewed for some type of workout. We also have housing counselors on site on our pre-mediation conference days. So if they don't already have a relationship with a counseling agency, they can meet someone right then and there.
Yeah. Now, you deal with Cuyahoga County only, right? We
do.
Yeah. We reach 19 Northeast Ohio counties. Right. People outside of Cuyahoga County, do they have similar organizations in their counties to your knowledge?
Yes. Nearly every county in Ohio has a foreclosure mediation program. So reach out to the court, reach out to the legal aid society that works in your area or county, and they can refer you to the right place.
Now, if the court does not approve mediation, what happens? What do you do then?
Well, so if the case isn't ready for mediation yet, then of course the parties will proceed on the foreclosure track. But let's say that somebody, who's unemployed and doesn't have any income to sustain the home gets a job 3 months into the foreclosure process. They need to let us know. They need to let the court know, because they can come into mediation at any time up until the confirmation of a sheriff's sale.
So if there's a change in that person's life, job or marriage or divorce or whatever, you need to know about that once they get in that pipeline and getting help. Leave us with a thought on why all of this is so vital. What your organization, the Cuyahoga County Foreclosure Mediation Program, leave us with a thought on why all of this is so vital.
Well, it's so important. I mean, I think that, foreclosure is something that has touched all of Cuyahoga County. A foreclosure in one house touches not only that household, and not only the people who have the financial responsibility in that household, but the kids, if there are grandparents in the home. And it reaches the whole neighborhood and their whole community. And so we meet people sometimes who say, I'm so tired, I'm so depressed about this situation, I can't go on, I think I might walk away. But walking away has its own consequences as well.
You just don't want to walk away because it's still hanging on, it's hanging over your head.
It will continue to hang on if it's not done the right way. And so these are situations that we can help people through. There is help out there.
Here in Cuyahoga County, we're going to put that number up, 698-7138. You see it at the bottom of the screen. Make a phone call on that number if you think that you're in foreclosure problems right here in Cuyahoga County. And if you're outside of Cuyahoga County, more than likely your county has a similar situation, a similar organization that can help you. Many thanks, Andrea Kenast, who's Program Director and Mediator for the Cuyahoga County Foreclosure Mediation Program. Thanks for being on the broadcast.
Thank you.
I'm going to take a break. We're going to be right back, making sure you can afford the home that you plan to purchase. We're going to tell you how you can make sure you can do that when I come back. Welcome back to more of Kaleidoscope. I'm Leon Bibb. Can you afford the home you're thinking about buying? NHS Greater Cleveland offers a wide range of programs that will prepare you to purchase your first home. Classes to walk you through that home buying process, programs to help you fix up your home, and also help you to avoid having your home go through foreclosure. David Rothstein is Director of Resource Development and Public Affairs. He's here to talk about the services and programs at NHS Greater Cleveland. Good to have you with us, David.
Always good to be here, Leon. Thanks for having me.
Always good to have you back. Overall, the mission, I kind of set it up right there. That's pretty much the mission of NHS Greater Cleveland, right?
Yeah, we're here to help families achieve, preserve, and sustain home ownership. So we're at all the ends of the continuum of the home buying and home maintenance continuum.
Yeah. Now, what's that NHS mean?
Sure, it's Neighborhood Housing Services. We're an affiliate of NeighborWorks America.
Yeah.
Which is a very large national organization that promotes home ownership.
David, how do you help people do this now? You kind of walk them through the process?
Right.
I mean, you and I were chatting before we started the broadcast today. The first home I bought,
right,
many years ago,
right,
my wife and I, and when I put my signature at the bottom of that page, I was a little nervous.
Right, right.
And which is understandable. But
absolutely.
Everything worked out. How do you help people with that?
Sure. Well, we offer home buyer education classes through our home ownership center, which includes seminars, and we bring people in. So we bring people that have experience in the field, everybody from title officers to mortgage lenders, all the way down to talking to people about what their tax responsibilities are going to be.
Do a lot of people, when they go into this, they don't think beyond just the payment, the monthly payment? There's some other things that go with home ownership and
absolutely,
all of that.
Absolutely, and that's one of the reasons that we've grouped into being able to help people buy, fix, and keep their home, because there are a lot of things that go into it. What happens when you need a new roof, 10 years down the line after you've bought your house? What does that look like? And so we actually also do rehab lending as well.
Yeah, there's no superintendent of the apartment building to call. If it's your house, then you call yourself.
That's right. Or they call us, which we welcome.
And you can help them through that process. What are one of the bigger questions that you hear most often from people who are in the process of buying homes?
That's a great question. So I think our most common question probably is, can I afford this house? I feel like I can afford it, but what else besides this monthly payment should I be thinking about? And is it going to increase, or what are my utilities going to look like in terms of cost? Because those add up really quickly, especially in Cuyahoga County.
Do you have a method of looking at somebody's income and what percentage of your income, how you can know that you can afford it? What do you tell them?
Yeah, absolutely. So we do a similar process that the banks are going to do, or whoever's going to make their mortgage for them. So we can sit down and look at their monthly budget and their current expenses, and then their estimated expenses with the house, and be able to tell them, this seems like it might be really too much of a reach for you. Maybe you should target this income area.
This can be a stretch. You
right.
let them know we think this is a stretch for you.
Right.
Yeah. How do people get in touch with you now? Can they just make that phone call?
They can make the phone call to us, and they can visit our website as well, which is nhscleveland.org.
nhscleveland.org, nhscleveland.org. Phone number is 458-4663. You see that at the bottom of the screen in the 216 area code. Is there a cost to do all of this with your
organization? No, there is no cost. We're a HUD-approved housing counseling agency, and there is no cost for our home buyer education courses.
Do you help people who are in foreclosure?
We do. We also help people that are in foreclosure, and it's interesting, one of the things that we hope to do in the home buyer education programs is to make it so that we don't have to see people down the line and try to prevent them from ending up in an unsustainable situation or going into foreclosure. But we definitely offer foreclosure assistance programs and counseling, and we continue to, even though there are a lot of programs that are winding down in the foreclosure space, we continue to help families.
Would you say that education is the key to preventing foreclosure?
I think it's a big help. I think a lot of the home maintenance things that we've talked about is also part of it as well.
Okay, so people can give you a call, give your organization a call, and how big an area are you dealing with now?
Sure. So our footprint really is the Tri-County area. So it's it's not just Cleveland. It can be Cuyahoga County. It can be Lorain County. We actually do foreclosure assistance in Huron County as well.
So anybody pretty much in our area, if they're listening, they can give you a phone call.
Absolutely.
And if you can't help them directly, you can direct them to who can. can.
Absolutely, we'd be happy to do that.
Okay. David Rothstein, he's a Director of Resource Development and Public Affairs for NHS Greater Cleveland. Phone number is 458-4663 and the 216 area code. You see that at the bottom of the screen. David, good to have you on the broadcast again.
Thanks so much for having me.
He's been with us before, and he's so good. We all wanted him to come back and talk about what we've been talking about.
That's a good testament.
Yeah, we've got a lot of serious situations out there,
Absolutely.
and you've helped us navigate through them.
My pleasure.
I'm going to take a break in just a moment. Marsha Maccabee of the Urban League of Greater Cleveland will offer her thoughts for the day. Back in a moment. When you see that graphic that says Morning Exchange, you know it's time for Marsha Maccabee, President and CEO of the Urban League of Greater Cleveland. She's always got something on her mind.
Yes.
Wisdom with this woman.
Thank you, Leon. Definitely always something on my mind. Sometimes wisdom, I don't know, sometimes I'm searching for it.
Oh, come on.
But anyway, so glad to be with you again today. And what's on my mind today is the great celebration we have in our city about the fact that we're #2 in contention for the Republican National Convention. So one of the things that I've been thinking about is how we have to get ready, whether it's for that convention or it's for any convention, that we really have to bump up our game, I think, in our town around good customer service. And so I'm excited to say that I experienced some stellar service over this past weekend.
Yeah.
And I just want to commend that because, you know, often we hear all the bad things about our young people in the community and all the negative things they're involved in and all the negative things. So I've decided I'm going to start looking for the good and start sort of highlighting that now and then with good things that we're seeing in the community that really are contributing to making our city the real attraction place that we really want it to be.
That we want it to be. I mean, we can climb back in there. For a while, we were down. A few years, we were down.
Absolutely.
But we are the comeback city.
We are the comeback city, and so service is key. And so recently, my husband and I had a wonderful dinner at a new restaurant out at Legacy Village, Granite. And we had a wonderful young man by the name of Isaiah who was our server. And I'll tell you, the service was stellar. It's as good a service as I've had in Washington, D.C., or in a New York restaurant, or, you know, in Florida, or anywhere in this country that I've been. And I was just so excited and taken by that. He was so absolutely engaging and charming that I promised him I'd give him a shout out on Kaleidoscope. So, hey, Isaiah, this is your shout out.
Okay. Well, that's the restaurant review for the day. Take care, everybody. That's nice. You know,
Kaleidoscope, a weekly public affairs program brought to you in partnership with the Urban League of Greater Cleveland, Kaleidoscope Magazine, and News Channel 5.